I was in a physically and emotionally abusive relationship. The last straw was when he admitted that he cheated on me, and I walked out. I packed my stuff and bought a ticket and just flew back. And on the plane, I just kept crying and I just couldn't stop. And when I got back, I wasn't coping at all. I remember one significant night and I just couldn't sleep. And I looked out the window and I thought, wow, this is so easy. I just have to take 3 steps. 1 step off the bed, a 2nd step towards the window, and then 1 more step up, and then I'll be gone. I mean, why not? Why don't I just end it all? I don't think anyone would miss me. I just wanted to escape that condemnation haunting me. Hi, I'm in my 30s. Because of my counsellor, I'm still alive today. And counselling made such a big difference to my life, and this is my journey. My dad was really abusive and he struggled with a mental disorder. He's been on medication for years, but he would toggle between being very depressed or being extremely violent towards his family. My dad would hit me a lot. Isn't normal hitting, not that hitting is normal, but this is the kind that leaves bruises, the kind that would make teachers call my parents and ask, "Hey, what's happening at home?" My dad would stop the car at the highway and ask me to get out. Just, imagine me, a 7-year-old kid stranded on the highway. Or I'll get thrown out of the house and for hours I'll be wandering the streets alone with no shoes on. That's my childhood. That's how I grew up. I always thought it's okay, I thought I deserved it because I taught bad or I was being difficult. Thinking back, my self-worth then was really, really super low. I felt that I really deserved to be treated badly. And I guess that rippled and then tsunamied into my teens, my adulthood, and into my dating life. I was in at least 3 relationships that were abusive. With the last one, I kind of hit the jackpot. He was violent. The other 2 were more subtle in their abuse, but this one was a physical one. And he would push, shove, or hold me so hard that there were bruises. And he would do things to me that I didn't consent to that made me feel really terrible afterwards. After my abrupt breakup with him, I would have to walk away from windows because I became suicidal. I wasn't even showering. My boss called me in and said, "Hey, you've been wearing the same black dress 3 days in a row. I mean, I don't care, you don't smell anything, but I'm just worried about you. How are you coping?" And I looked down and I was like, oh yeah, I think I've just been changing out of it, putting it on again. Basically, I didn't know what's happening. I was like sleepwalking through my life. Something was very wrong. Come on, this wasn't my first breakup. But this particular one was strangely very difficult to manage, and I lived in fear that I would see him again. This was huge. This ran deep. It really wasn't something I could just think or feel away. This wasn't something friends or family could talk me out of it. I really knew I needed help. So I Googled and I found EMCC. True story, I really did. And this counselor was a gift straight from God, a real godsend. She allowed me to cry. She didn't try to interfere. She didn't try to say anything. She just let me cry because she saw how much I was grieving and how much I needed to just have that space. And she was a witness to my space. That made a huge difference to me. For the first sessions, I remember, I was just crying. I read from my diary to her, so many words, and she just sat there listening. But she wasn't just a passive witness. Her non-verbals were so apt, like the way she looked at me, the way she sat close to me. And she made me feel like she was with me in this. Even though she was a counselor, not a friend, but I really felt cared for, and I didn't feel judged at all. I mean, that was really huge, not feeling judged. I felt like this is my space and she's allowing me to be. And she helped me feel that it's not my fault. Wow, for once, someone's telling me it's not my fault. And I needed someone to say, hey, it's okay to have regrets. It's okay to feel shitty that you stayed in a toxic relationship. It's okay to feel lousy that you didn't leave. It's okay to feel crappy now. It's okay. And through the questions she asked or even her comments, she's telling me, hey, you are okay. And wow, for once, someone really saw my value, and She just made me feel like I'm actually valuable and that I'm a good person. And she helped me recognize that, yeah, I'm so worthy. You know, friends and family may have seen me like someone in a crazy hurricane, but all they could say was, oh, you poor thing. But they really couldn't do a thing. And my counselor, she really jumped into that hurricane with me and sat in there with me. I did tell her later that she had a big part to do with the fact that I'm still alive today. Not just because she was doing her job, but because she really was there, really present in that room with me, present with me in my hurricane. Because of how much I've been helped, and I want people to realize that going to counselling really isn't a sign of weakness. It's not saying I can't cope, but it's saying that I need someone to journey with me just for this season. And that it's okay, just for this season. Then that person will step aside when I can continue on my own. So there is hope. You don't have to do this alone. One more thing, people should know I was a subsidized client. One last hurdle to someone seeking counselling is the price. I don't understand why counselling can't be seen like seeing a medical specialist. For that, we wouldn't question paying a substantial amount of money. Counselling requires resources. It takes time and expertise. So donations coming in to support subsidies for counselling would be like that nudge, that last nudge to that person that says, hey, get help. Donations will help remove that last hurdle, will help make that difference for that person. It did for me. I'm really thankful to my counsellor for helping me forgive myself, for being my mirror to reflect my true worth to myself, and most importantly, to move forward stronger, to move forward healed.